A mother learns quickly that each child is a unique person with his or her own likes, dislikes, and temperament. Even when they have the same mom and dad, they can behave very differently. Vinzanna Leysath returns to chat with me about mothering her tween and teenage kids and gives us her family's stance on the gender confusion issue that affects some youth in today's society. Let's join that interview right now. Welcome, Vinzanna.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, welcome back. Wow, you must have enjoyed being on the show last time, or just
I was pressured, y'all.
Pressured. Oh, don't tell them
kidding.
That's what people think of me, really. That's what they think of me, really. It's like
it was such a good time that I need to do it again.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. And this is our Mother's Day celebration, tribute to mothers. That's what we're doing this week. And I wanted to take some time and talk to you because you're a mother. Yes. And I just thought every mother has some nugget of wisdom she can share with other mothers about, the challenges that we all go through raising our children. So tell me about your kids. How old are your children?
So we have been blessed with two kids, a boy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Our son is 10 years, reversing. Our son is 14.
Mm-hmm.
And can you believe it? I don't even look like I have a
No, you don't.
14. But our son is 14 and our daughter is 10.
Wow. Okay.
They were born a day apart. So their birthdays are a day apart. Obviously not years-wise, but their birthdays are a day apart. So,
how does that work with birthdays?
Well, that's what our OBGYN asked. And I told them, as long as it doesn't happen again, I'm okay. So March 10th is my son's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally prayed while I was in labor with my daughter. I'm like, dear God, if she could just be born the next day so everyone can have their own birthdays, I'll be okay. Wow. And sure enough, she came in this world March 11th, not crying, just looking.
Wow.
Just looking. And
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, March 10th is my granddaughter's birthday, too.
March babies.
Hi, Yasmin.
Hey, Yasmin. I hear that you're good people.
Yeah, she's good people. For real.
So March 10th, March 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So tell me about raising, so they call that, well, your son is a teen now, and your daughter's a tween now, as they say.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about being a mom of a teen and a tween?
Well, before we even get into age, I think just being a mom of a boy and a girl is just two totally different things altogether.
Yes.
So our son, and I can't speak for all boys, of course, but our son is just chill. You're not gonna you could fuss and scream to the top of your lungs, and this dude is just okay. He's going to take his time. There is no rush. Just chill, just in his own world.
Yeah.
Our daughter is going to be the one that's going to take care of us when we get older.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the little mother goose.
Uh-huh.
She is the one. She's a nurturer already.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's the tween is a little lady. She'll cook breakfast and make sure everyone is good in the house. And
wow.
But it's just crazy that I'm like, did you both come from us? Because they're just so
yes,
it's so different. So that in itself, just gender wise, it has been a totally different experience, and figuring out how to speak to each one of them, how to discipline them, because it's just not
the same. What works on the son won't necessarily work on the daughter, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
I get that.
Absolutely. My daughter, if my husband, raises his voice an inch, she dies. Okay. She is.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. She just that daddy's girl. Daddy not supposed. If daddy gets mad, her life has officially,
been altered.
Yeah. So that's been different.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of age, it's also in terms of granting them like different things because of their age, even though they're under the same roof, has been challenging.
Yes.
Bedtimes are different.
Mm-hmm.
One is in elementary school, one is in middle school.
Right.
But their bedrooms are right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the stuff that nobody tells you about. Like it's just, it's just.
Don't you wish you had like this, manual to read? But even if you did, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work because God, these children, they come here with their own mind, with their own personality, and you're getting to know them. They're getting to know you. You're trying to
figuring it out together.
I'm telling you.
And that's the crazy part of it all. It's just like they look up to you because you're a parent, and you're like, wait, I'm a parent, but I don't know what I'm doing. So we're just like literally, especially the firstborn, we're just out here winging it.
Well, I've heard this like 3 times so far in these interviews that, when you are a mother, it's like you're trying to learn as you are raising these kids. Yeah. You just do the best you can do.
That's the best. That's the best.
I'm going to ask you a real, probably non-politically correct question.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. I just feel like I want to ask this question. Having a son and a daughter in this day and time, and people are saying that kids, that they come here and they already have their gender figured out. And that some kids are born and they are not the gender they were born with. What's your take on this?
With all due respect, I personally disagree. I believe that you were born with the gender that you have, and that you need to accept it. And I think it's also too, people think that because I'm a woman, for instance, that I'm not supposed to change a tire or do these manly things. It's okay for you to be a female or a male and have tendencies to want to do other things, because a lot of people were brought up in an era where men weren't cooking.
Right.
My husband could cook a way better steak than I am. Who do you think is cooking the steak in our house? But as far as you disowning, the gender that God created you with and trying to be something else, that's a hard pill. I'm just thankful that where we're at right now, at the time of this conversation, my children have accepted the gender that they are. I get so scared when I see those conversations, and I try not to judge, because what if my son or daughter comes, all I know to tell them is God does not make mistakes.
That's right.
And if you were created to be a man, guess what? Some days I want to be a female either. This is a lot of work. Let's be clear.
Yes, sir.
Let's be clear. I was watching this video the other day, and this young lady said, "You know what, God? Why didn't you make me a tree? All they do is shush, shush. No, you want to make me a woman. I'm supposed to birth children, take care of them, do this, do that, and just pay for something I didn't ask." And I laughed at it, but there was some truth in it. Not all the days of your life are going to feel like you belong. We all have those moments.
Well, I mean, take for instance myself. I grew up with my dad until I was like right before my 14th birthday. So I grew up with someone who was like fixing cars, changing tires, walking around with a gun on his belt. He was just doing things, and I have a lot of his attributes, but I didn't lose being a female.
That's
just I for my young years, I climbed trees, I did all the stuff, but still,
Mhm.
I'm still a female, and I never felt like I want to be a boy.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm gonna get off that topic because I probably get some hate mail because of that. But I really don't care about the hate mail. I just feel that people need to consider, because I think that what the parent says to the child about who they are is what they believe about who they are.
That's right.
And if you leave the door wide open and let people in the world tell your child who they are, then that's when the confusion comes in.
And having both of them, especially emphasizing the importance to my daughter that you are a female. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
And to my son, you are male. That's a beautiful thing as well. Just because they're going to hear those outside voices. We just doing this.
Right. And I mean, God's not the author of confusion.
Not
Isn't
at
that
all.
what they taught us? So there should be no. It was never confusing to me,
But we just live in a different time,
Yes,
right?
we
It's
do.
just, it's very scary. I'm sure even my mom thought it was scary raising me. And even now, me as a parent, I'm like, wait, how did I even become a parent? I'm not.
How did this happen?
Sure, it was me that gave birth.
I'm pretty sure you know.
It's hard, and we all different generations go through different struggles, and it's just about being the best that you can.
Yes.
For what you know.
Yeah. And we have to cover these kids with prayer, which I'm sure you do.
That's right.
You and your husband. Cover them with prayer, and just let God be the one to make sure everything is tied up in a nice little bow. Now you said something that was really interesting about your daughter.
Okay.
You said she's the nurturer. She likes to feed everyone, and your son is Mr. Chill Pill. And to me, those are attributes of male and female. I mean, big time. My brothers, when they were growing up, there was no doubt that these were boys. Because my brother my dad bought him a Tonka truck. Man, it's a good thing it was a Tonka truck, because he would just be beating it over, throwing it across the room. Now girls would be like talking to the little truck, we're gonna go over here. And so there is a difference between the two.
But they're also watching us.
Yes, they are.
She's watching me cook and feed and take care and nurture. So she's seeing that in our household as, wait a minute, I mean.
Right. She's like, this is the way the world works. They're watching the parents, and watching the parents teaches them how the world works.
That's right.
Amen to that. And I think that's what our challenge is in this world today. So I'm gonna get off that subject, and I'm just gonna say, it's like going to school. In 2020, school got to be a little weird. So now, how do you think school is for kids? Is it better? Is it more challenging?
I think they're still struggling. I think they're still struggling where academics and socially. So both of our kids are pretty bright. But I find that even with the encouragement and the prayer and the covering, they're still trying to fit in to society. And I'm like, we weren't designed to do that. It's not that we're better than anyone. It's just you were designed to stand out. But they're also, they're just going through this phase where they feel like they need friends. And it's really been a challenge for my daughter to and it's so hard for me as a mom to watch, like, her having a hard time getting friends. And it's because that's that gap, that it wasn't continuous. They went from everything being normal to one day they came home and they didn't go back to school for months.
So they almost like had to start over with getting friends again.
And then in our case, we moved to another side of town. So on top of the world starting over, she then had to start all the way over. But just encouraging her to, don't dim your light just so that you can get a friend. Because if someone is meant to be in your life,
they'll be there.
They'll be there. and you shouldn't have to do anything extra. She was like, well, can I carry them chips? And, well, did they bring you chips? I don't have a problem with sharing, but I mean, what we're not going to do is bribe.
Right. You don't want to start down that path.
Like
Then
you
always
my
be
friend
doing
because
that.
I bought you chips. No,
the rest of your life, you'll have to buy your friends.
Nah, you know how mama a little crazy. You're not finna. You see the price of the chips at Sam's. Have y'all been to Sam's lately?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We can't work that way.
We can't be giving away chips for y'all to be friends. But just encouraging them and just making sure that they understand how important they are, and that you add value to someone's life, and vice versa. But don't forget that you part. I add value. You add value to my life, and I hope that I do the same, trying to teach her that. But it's definitely, it's a challenge. And then when you bring in social media and the internet.
Well, that's a whole, that would keep us talking for like hours.
Listen.
So we won't go down that road.
I made a joke the other day. I said, you know, I can't even do drugs. This is despite religious beliefs. I wouldn't know how to stop, right? Because you trying to keep up with everything. I mean, the different social media, the bullying, them doing well academically in school, and the pressures of them doing academically well in school. We're trying to carry them to church and build their spiritual life and teach. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. So don't do drugs.
No. See this face. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And you might not be able to stop.
No.
Yeah.
So, so mothering school-age kids, it's a challenge. It's been a while for me since I was in that mode, but I remember it being just a challenge. Yeah. So God bless you in that. I'm sure you're doing a great job. Yeah, I'm sure.
Just trying. Just trying. Doing my best.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Doing my best. And that's what we have to remember. That's all you can do.
There you go.
That's it.
So what nuggets of wisdom did your mom share with you before you had children? Did she share anything with you, or did you glean anything from your relationship with your mom that you are carrying forward in raising your children?
Well, initially, so back up. I'm the baby girl.
Okay.
So I was spoiled. I'll admit that. Hopefully my brothers are not watching. I have 3 older brothers. I had 3. I have 2 now. So as far as watching, like my mother, it was always her mothering older siblings, if that makes sense.
Okay, yes.
So I didn't have an opportunity to take care of little cousins or anything. And to be frank, when I got pregnant with my son, I was just like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't really. I boo-hooed y'all. Confession moment. When we found out we were pregnant, we were married for about 4 months.
Oh, okay.
So this is new, you know, and saw the little test, and I went in the shower. And let me tell y'all can see I'm black, right? There's no, I went in the shower and I went under the shower and I cried. I was like, and it was not, I'm going to admit this, it was not tears of excitement.
You were not expecting to
I was just like, what do I literally said, what do I do with it? I don't know what to do. I never changed a diaper. I never made a bottle. I never did any of that. So, you know, but it was a purpose in his birth, the purpose, one of the purposes, it brought both of our families together.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So with that, I didn't know what my mother taught me until you don't know what you know until it's time for you to experience it. Right. And one of the things that my mom always did was she was always there for us, regardless of whatever else is going on. She was there for her kids. And I just never remember going without.
Right.
And now that I'm older, I know of her struggles, right? But I didn't know that growing up. And I guess in my journey as a mother, I don't really care too much about material things
Mm-hmm.
because they're gonna break it.
Right.
FYI, it's going
Don't hold
to
too
break,
tight to stuff.
and nobody's gonna know what happened.
Right.
So what I've learned is just to be present,
Right.
and it's a conscious effort to be present.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the position that I'm at right now as an entrepreneur, I get the benefit of my kids coming home, and 9 times out of 10, I'm home
Mm-hmm.
waiting on them. It's a conscious effort to take my phone and put it aside and listen
Mm-hmm.
to their day.
Right.
So I guess that's what I learned the most, among many other things,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just being present.
Being present.
And what I'm teaching myself right now is to be intentionally present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard.
Right.
Because I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, you're talking for 30 minutes and I got to get chicken on the stove. That you'd be thinking about, oh my goodness, did I take that out of the, like you're thinking,
right.
did I answer
your
this
mind's
client?
on another track, even though you're looking at the child and listening to them talk.
So just practicing intentionality,
right.
Practice active listening,
Mm-hmm.
and I've learned to also practice apologizing.
I've heard that many times too.
And that's not easy.
Yes.
That is not easy because they will throw it up in your face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But just letting them know, I'm sorry if I made you feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I made you feel this way, but I still meant what I said.
Right.
You're gonna clean this room. I'm sorry,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I said it in a way that hurt your feelings, but that doesn't stop the fact that what I said is what I said.
Right.
So,
well, apologizing was not something that happened when I was growing up. In other words, that's not what the elders did then. It's like, you're going to do that because I said so. And whether they were right or wrong, you just had to suck it up and go do it.
Apologizing, and I think the ability, at least me growing up, the ability to speak freely. That's what was said, and that was it. And now we allow the kids to respectfully state how they feel about something. Because if they don't share it with us, then we're opening that door for them to share it with someone else that could possibly give them
the wrong advice.
Yeah, but these children are different. I agree with that.